At last, the 5 Chinese construction companies that had been contracted by UNRA to compensate properties of affected persons in areas where new roads are being constructed and did not have refunded the 23.4 billion shillings that was never utilized, leaving the balance of 9.3 billion shillings expected to hit the UNRA Kampala Station bank account held a Stanbic Bank corporate branch.
A company called Chongqing International Construction Company had been advanced 3.585620 billion. And by close of business yesterday, they had transferred that money back to the UNRA account. And we have the documentation and the bank transfers. A company called Zhongmei had used all the money by paying the affected people. However, before they paid the affected persons, they had traded in it, and they had got profit, what we call interest, of 272 million shillings. But they had paid all the money as they were required by the contract. So we have since then recovered even the interest which they had got on that money, and they have paid it. It is 272 million shillings. The documents are here with us. Another company called China Railway 18th Group. This one had not used all the money for the last 2 years. Instead, they have been trading in it and earning interest. They had got an interest of almost 1.2 billion. However, the principal advance to them was around 12.9. So we have since then recovered the interest plus the principal. And here with me is a confirmation from Barclays Bank that they have remitted 14 billion shillings back to the UNRA account. We have also recovered money from China Rail Group number 5. They had used little money, and they were still holding 8.4 billion. We have since then recovered it, 8.4 billion, and the confirmation from Stanbic Bank is also here with us.
The 9.3 billion shillings still pending had been wired to the Bank of China for fixation trade by China Railway Engineering number 3 Group. Early this week, the representative of China number 3 Group in Uganda, appearing before this probe commission of Parliament, revealed that his headquarters in China could not transfer the money as urgently required due to the fact that China was having a long public holiday.
My head office is under procedure to send the money to here because we in China in the...
So the money is not here?
Yeah, the money is some shortage, about 5 billion, because my head office is under procedure to send the money back.
You can imagine some of the money we are talking about is in China.
You know, not in China, because we have actually used for the project operation, but shortage the...
Please don't tell us that.
Chair, this money wasn't made for project operations. You qualified, you are awarded the contract on the strength of your sound financial standing. So save this committee from those niceties. We just want the money.
Yes, we apologize for this. We have actually when the project...
we may detain you here until that money is brought.
Within 1 week, we all will refund back. 1 week.
However, having not transferred the funds by the closure of business on Wednesday this week, the committee chair, Abdul Katuntu, revealed that failure to have the funds remitted by closure of business today, the commission would take drastic action which will include liquidating the guarantee which is in possession with UNRA. But legally, what would this imply?
The agreement that the contractors entered into with UNRA, it was agreed that they furnish the UNRA office with a performance guarantee from a reputable bank in Uganda. And those guarantees were given to UNRA And upon failure to pay the money, the bank is supposed to pay the money. Now, we will not get the money from the Chinese. We are now going to recover the money from the bank because they allowed the money to be, we are going to liquidate the guarantee.
And we would call upon that particular bank, we don't want to mention the name, that they make sure when the request for payment reaches them today, they should be able to pay that amount to UNRA.
However, interim findings from the commission indicate that there was a meticulous connivance between top officials at UNRA and the contracted Chinese construction companies to fix and trade in Uganda's taxpayers' money with the intention of making profits out of the 32.5 billion shillings that was meant to compensate properties of affected persons.
There was connivance simply because the terms of the contract talk about how the money should be administered. In 28 days, you are supposed to open up a special, they call it independent interest account. It's like putting money in a safe. It doesn't earn any profit, it doesn't get any loss. And for any money to be released for payment to the PAPs, those are the project affected persons, there should have been authentication and authority from UNRA. But you can see what happened. Some of the money, fixed deposit. Other monies go to China. Other monies go into the operations of the contractor. So you can see there was a lot of indiscipline. So I still think that the way you feel it now is what happened. The officials of UNRA were part of what caused all this.
However, all is not over. The probing commission is considering moving serious sanctions against the ties between UNRA and the embattled Chinese companies in question.
But we can request as Parliament, we can request PPDAA to look into the affairs of these contractors and take appropriate action. We do have the law, and Uganda as a country through PPDA can blacklist contractors.
Timothy Sibasi, Television, Parliament.